everyone, and welcome to the Elite Vortex Racing Formula 3 race here at Azerbaijan. So it's my first time commentating in a while, first time commentating this league, so give me a while to get used to it. But it looks like we've got a decently sized grid for today's race. A few quick people I can see, a few people I've raced before. So, looking like it's going to be a good race. Just waiting for everyone to load in, and we'll be starting shortly. Obviously, as always in the league, we've got short 18-minute qualifying to then decide the grid for the race, which is 50%. Car performance and equal, dynamic weather, so completely random. Could be wet, could be dry, never know. So yeah. Also looks, seeing as though the normal Formula 3 commentator isn't available, I'll be on my own, so a little bit more pressure here, but should be all good. Just making sure everyone's loading into the stream. So I think we're just waiting for a couple more people to show up and then we'll be starting. So we've got a decently sized grid, I think 14 people racing at the moment. So it should be an exciting race. Obviously being Azerbaijan, any mistake is punished quite severely with the walls, you know, as close as they are around the circuit. Obviously it's a temporary street circuit, so it is going to be a lot more difficult to overtake than, say, you know, Kota or Silverstone. But makes for an exciting race as the drivers are on the edge for the entirety of the 26 laps they'll be racing. Don't know when the race is starting, should be soon, but I don't know if we're waiting for a couple of drivers or what. Let me check actually. still unsure what the hold-up is on the race start, as Division 1, or F1 as I should say, has already started, so I don't know why we're still in the lobby, but hopefully we're starting soon. Looks like we're now starting. Everyone seems to be readying up, so into quali we go. I'm just going to give you a few track facts. So the Azerbaijan city circuit is a 6 kilometer or 3.7 mile track around the Sorry, that might cut out. I'll start again. So the Baku city circuit is a 6 kilometer or 3.7 mile track around the streets of Baku. It looks like we're going to be racing 26 laps of the track, and pole position starting on the right hand side of the track, and with a relatively short run into the first corner it could invite some overtakes from the P2 runner down the inside into the first corner. The lap record in the race is set, it was a 1 minute 43.441 set by Sebastian Vettel in 2017, and the fastest quali lap is a 1 minute 40.593 set by Lewis Hamilton also in 2017, of course in Q3. It looks like the top speed of the track is around 210 miles per hour, which is around 337 kph. So looks like it's going to be an exciting one. Obviously, as a street circuit, any mistake is punished. Even if you run a little bit wide, it's going to be some wing damage involved there, and hopefully a lot of drivers can keep it out of the wall. I don't know what the hold up with loading in. It looks like one driver's still loading in. Looks like the typical Codemasters lobbies aren't holding up as per usual. Looks like we're loading in now, and a couple of strategies you could try. One is the soft compound tyre to the hard compound tyre, or if you want to play a bit more conservative, go for the medium to the hard. It looks like everyone's leaving the lobby, so whether we're going for a restart or what, I'm unsure. Hopefully it doesn't hold up the lobby and the race too much. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be making a little bit, obviously because of some connection issues some drivers had. So it looks like we're going to be making a new lobby for the race. Yeah, I know, Cowboy. Thanks for the for the note. Just as long as I get invited, then it should be dandy. Yeah, looks like we're going to right to the new lobby. Hopefully it doesn't take too long for the race to start, as I'm sure everyone's on their toes waiting for the race to start. But, yeah, that's what everyone can get in quickly, smoothly, and we can get going, because I think Division 2 and Division 1 are almost halfway through quali already, so not best, but it looks like everyone's getting in, so we should be good. Yeah, it looks like everyone's jumping in and readying up so we can get going quite quickly. Looks like everyone's in now. We've got 14 runners. We've got Messi in the Renault, Catboy in the Toro Rosso, Ivan in the Haas, Baboon in the Toro Rosso, Dan in the Williams, Billy in the Haas, in the second Haas. We've got Vithino in the Ferrari PB Racing, or Bryn in the Mercedes, Aquaplane in the Ferrari, Riley in the McLaren, Future in the Red Bull, Vies in the McLaren, Try and Catch the Racing Point, and Callum in the Alfa Romeo. So I'll just run through the track stats one more time. So the Baku Street Circuit is a 6 km or 3.7 mile track. We'll be running 26 laps in today's race. The pole position will start on the right hand side of the track, which could open up, especially with a short run in into turn 1 for P2 to maybe squeeze up the inside into turn 1 on the first lap. Lap record in the race is a 1:43.4 held by Sebastian Vettel, and the fastest lap for quali is a 1:40.5 set by Lewis Hamilton. The maximum speed people are going to be reaching are around 210 miles per hour, 337 kph. So should be exciting, especially the street circuit, tight, and it's a wet qualifying session here, so this is going to mix things up. This is going to give everyone, if it's a dry race, it's going to give everyone free choice of tyre, and fresh tyres at that. So the quality strategy isn't going to work, but it's going to be interesting to see if people run a wet setup, try and get the track position, which is important, or run more of a dry setup for the race if it is dry. It could be wet for the race as well. So it looks like it is heavy wet. PB, no, he's taking the gamble. He's going out on the intermediate. Could work. If he's got the setup, no, he's switched back to wet. Sort about it. So if we got someone out, there's a Ferrari there. Who is it though, I wonder? And we've also got a Haas there. We've got Aquaplaning. That's hopefully, if he's running a dry setup, he's going to be doing a bit of that today around the streets of Baku. But he's on his outlap, same as Wildlife Billy. A lot of them trying to get out quickly, trying to get just a nice little bank lap in. Maybe as the track sort of progresses to be dry up towards the end of the session, that's when we'll see the sort of faster lap times be posted in. But yeah, it looks like everyone's just trying to take it cautiously, find where the grip is, see where they can push the car, and hopefully we'll be seeing some quick lap times. As it looks like Aquapaint is struggling a little bit. Maybe he is running more of a dry setup, so it could be that the race is dry. But we've got yellow flags in sector 1. That could be because someone's going slow, but no, it's a Toro Rosso and the Mercedes of Catboy and PB who have seem to have a bit of a collision there going into the second corner on their outlap. So that's going to be meaning that they won't be able to get as quick of a lap time in. They're pulling off to the runoff area, making sure they reverse. Are they going to reverse into traffic? Hopefully not. But yeah, it looks like we've got Aquaplane, and he think. Oh wait, they still piled up there. Yeah, looks like they have. Looks like the McLaren and Riley also got caught up there as well. So hopefully they don't have wing damage. Otherwise they will have to return to the pits. But Aquaplane are now setting up for his lap, coming through the quickest section of the track. These little S's. Looks like he's not fully committed through there. He's not in any RS modes yet. He's pumping it up to overtake now down the main straight. No DRS obviously as it's wet conditions. But trying to get the straightest line for the braking and also the shortest run into the first corner so he can maximise the track. Is he going to be able to maximise the track? He runs a little bit wide so he can open up the corner a bit more. Pushes on a little bit, uses the exit curb, gets a bit of wheel spin, has to correct the side. It's going to lose him about a tenth or two. Braking nice and early to clip the apex turn 2. Running a bit wide, getting a bit snaky. He almost loses the car. Manages to hold on quite well. But there's more yellow flags in sector 1. Let's see what that is. Is it another tangle? As PMP tries to go back into the pits, maybe to fix his wing, change tyres, whatever. But back to Aquaplane, as he seems to be on a half-ish decent lap. He doesn't seem to be fully committed, but he seems to be losing the car quite often. Is he running really wide? The car seems to be pushing on. Locking up as well, so he could be running OBS, trying to just sort of brake early, get a nice run out of the corner rather than going in. But coming into the tightest and possibly trickiest part of the track, he runs a bit wide, small lock up, pushes on a little bit, uses the track though, coming back over to the right hand side for the left, right little chicane of Castle, pushes on a little bit, locks the rears, taps the wall, and I think that will be his lap ruined. Yeah, he's luring the rear. Have we got anyone else on the lap? We've got Wildlow Biddy and Callum Anderson following each other quite closely here on the lap. Callum Anderson getting quite rear-endy there going into Castle, whether he's trying to warm up the tyres or what. But we've got Wildlow Billy on the Haas, taking it nice and cautiously through Castle section. Try not to make any mistakes. Just want to get a nice little banker lap down so we can sort of try and improve on it as the session goes on. Obviously he's got 13 minutes left to improve his time. Oh, but he goes in really deep and he's tapped the barrier. Very easy mistake to make. Is that going to be wing damage for the Haas driver? Maybe. He might have to box in, put a new front wing on, new set of tyres on, and yeah, it must be wing damage. He's pushing on a lot. Have we got anyone else on a lap at the moment? We've got the other Haas of ART Ivan round in the final corner, round in the final couple of corners, sorry, to either start his lap or finish it. It looks like he's on a lap, maybe. But yeah, on the pit straight, trying to sort of keep the car in a straight line, so you're not, you know, giving yourself any more distance than you need to have. And he sets provisional pole time of 1:56.1, which isn't too bad of a time. Good bank lap to try and improve on. There's yellows through sector 2. Seems like a lot of people are making mistakes, and there's the Red Bull there of Future, who must have gone quite deep there into that corner, using the runoff area, coming back onto the track nice and safely, and will be continuing with his qualifying session. Looks like we've got a McLaren there on a lap. He goes, is that purple to the middle sector? I'm unsure. It looks like to be on a relatively decent lap in overtake. Is he going to be fully committed? Not fully committed, but still good. We've got Messi going quickest with a 1:55.9. Not too far, not too much quicker as PB Racing goes third with a 2 minutes, who I think he'll be working on improving that time quite a lot. But the McLaren coming across the line, he's going to set a 55.6, which is a provisional pole lap time for the moment. Obviously, only 4 laps being posted. So, yeah, is he going to be pushing for another lap? It looks like he is. Braking nice and early, hitting the apex, running a bit wide, using first gear for the extra rotation, but he gets a little bit more wheel spin, having to be a bit more cautious on the exit. But gets the throttle planted quite quickly. I think he is going for a warm-up lap as he's not using his ERS. We've got PMP try and catch. He's in hot lap mode, so he must be going for a lap. Getting the power down nice and early. Good exit onto the back straight. We've got yellows through sector 2 though. Who's this for? Seems to be a lot of mistakes being made. But yeah, PB Racing going very deep at the same corner we saw Future go deep at. So looks like he's a bit quite struggling here. He's going to pull over and just let everyone through the yellow flags. Yeah, try not to impede everyone's lap time. We got the McLaren just passing him very nicely. And is this Messi on a lap? No, he's running out of fuel. He's in no ERS, so that's not going to be for a lap. But ART Ivan, he wasn't on a lap either, going quite slow. Either that, we made a big mistake. But PMP try and catch, coming into Castle, takes it nicely, clips the apex, bit of oversteer. But once again, bit of a slide, opens up the corner, gets a decent exit for this quick part of the track. And he runs wide, he pushes on and smacks into the barrier. Don't think he's going to be too happy with that lap. Whether he had wing damage from the previous lap or what, he's going to be pulling into the pits and changing that front wing, I'm sure. But we've got the Ferrari here. Is he on a lap? Yeah, he's in a hot lap. Trying to just brake nice and early. Make sure he hits that apex, which he does very nicely. Bit of a slide in the exit. Not too much time lost though. Brakes nice and early. Nice and cautiously for Castle. Clips that apex, clips the second, clips the third, opens up the corner, not too much open up the corner, doesn't want to risk sliding the car. Still gets a decent run through, decent exit through this fast, long double left into the downhill left, which he brakes nice and revs out the gear, clips the curb, doesn't send him too wide though. He seems to be taking a nice line through there. And seems to be braking nicely, clips the apex, stails a bit out wide though, he's lost the rear, and that should be his lap ruined. But we've got yellow flags through sector 1 and 2. I wonder what this is. I think it's aquaplaning going slowly, trying to let everyone through after making a mistake perhaps. But here we have Riley, the McLaren. Is he on a lap? Looks like he might be. He's an overtake, trying to get the best straight line speed. He should try and keep the car in a straight line so he doesn't have to use too much of the track, which he does. Keeps in a straight line, stays tight, and he goes slightly quicker with a 156.975, which puts him at a provisional P4 at the moment. But we've got a risk off for the Inters on try and catch. Is he going to be able to stick to that? Looks like it could possibly be alright for Inters. It'll be a bit more slidey but potentially quicker. And hi Liam, thanks for tuning in. But yeah, we've got Future now setting up for a lap. Brakes nice and early, using the curb to open up the corner so he can clip the apex and get a good exit on the curb. Gives him a straight line, brakes nicely, really well, trail braking and clipping the apex. Doesn't sail out too wide on the exit either, gets the throttle down nice. Down this back straight for now, what I believe will be turn 3 and 4. Brakes nicely, revs out the gear a bit there, but clips the apex. Runs over the curb slightly and braking nicely. Don't want to touch that curb. Doesn't do it too bad, and he is still on a decent lap. Not any mistakes. Seems to be nice, keeping it nice and clean. But he misses that apex, sails out wide, manages to open up the corner, runs over the curb, but then sails out wide, clips the barrier. That's going to scrub off a bit of speed that he doesn't want to lose. That's going to be a bad 10th or 2 time loss. Sailing out a bit wide after that, losing the rear end, coming through Castle, clips the apex nicely, opens up the corner, taking it with relative confidence there, and he slides out and he's spun the car and he has ruined his lap there. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a for the Red Bull of Future. He's not going to pull out in anyone's way, I hope, but we've got gamblers on Inters. Let's see how this turns out for him. PMP try and catch. Let's see. Let's see if he can go quick on the Inters. It looks like the track evolution seems to be good. Now there's more sort of rubber being laid down. Will that affect the grip too much? We've got Messi going slow, trying to let him through. As we've got Uwat has retired, and yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. Has he managed to crash the car in quali? If there is, he's going to be starting from the back of the grid. Let's see what this one of the 2 current gamblers on the Inters is going to be able to do. Coming into turn 1, nice, open up the corner, using the curb. Don't want to brake too much there. He runs a little bit wide, pushing on. Still gets a decent-ish exit though. Braking at the 100 board, trail braking in for turn 2. Clips the apex, gets a really good exit. Surprisingly, Not much wheel spin. We've got yellow flags in sector 1 as Wheezy goes quickest with a 1:54.8, which is astonishing lap time at the moment. Quickest. We've got 5 minutes left in the session. Is this going to be where the quickest times are going to be set? Try and catch. Still on a good lap. Got a bit of a slide coming out of the exit of turn 4 there, but not too bad. Keeping the car nice and planted through this. Brakes nice and early. Not using 100% brake force so he doesn't lock the fronts too much. Gets some mediocre exit, bit of a slide. But coming through castle. Clips the first apex, clips the second, clips the third. Is he going to clip the fourth? Yep. Opens up the next corner. Don't want to run too much from the curb there. There's quite a dip. Let's see what sort of sector times he's doing though. He's running low on fuel. Got the lightest car he can. Does learn from his mistakes of running into that wall as we saw already in the session. Braking nice and early. He runs a bit wide, misses the apex and smacks into the barrier. Shouldn't be too much of a worry for him though. Seems to be on a decent lap. Let's see what time he does. I think sort of the crossover period maybe and as could match the wets, but of course the wets will be a lot better because they've got more tread and they can displace the water a lot more efficiently. Tank seems to be a bit more rear-endy than a lot of people. That could be because the inters aren't quite up to speed yet. He's going to come across the line to do a 56.5, which was an original P4. Still a decent lap time, but I think the wets are still slightly quicker. We'll see what the other inter runner does. It was a 41.8 through the middle sector. He revs out the gears. That's going to make him push on a lot on the exit there. And he's not going to get the best exit for the 2 kilometer straight. That is the one here at Baku City Circuit. And not going full commitment through the left-right S's of the final corners, which could cost him a little bit of time. He's going to come across the line. And he's going to do a 58.3, which puts him a net P8, so it doesn't look... So it doesn't look like the inters are quite quick as the wets just yet. With only 3 minutes to go, we're not going to be able to see slicks, even though I think the rain is starting to slightly calm down. We're going to be seeing some of the quickest lap times set now. It is very close in the midfield, yeah, especially from 3rd to 5th, only a few tenths in it. But Wheezy setting a very quick pole lap, 1.1 seconds quicker than everyone else. We got yellows through sector 2. I wonder what that is for. Has someone gone into the barrier somewhere? Doesn't look like it. But yeah, PB Racing will stay on board with him. He seems to be on a lap, getting a bit of slide out of castle. Full commitment through this long left-hander. Braking nice. Nicely trail braking in. Doesn't run too wide. Gets actually the car rotated quite well. Getting the throttle planted down. Braking nicely. The exit of the corner is really, really important. He messes it up slightly. Gets a bit of a slide on the exit. He should be okay. As long as he can carry the momentum and the speed through these S's, which gets a bit of a slide, manages to keep the car in a straight line. And let's see what he can do. Approaching now the start-finish light. He's going to get a slight bit of the toe from the Ferrari, but he's going to come across the line. He does a 56.9, which was some provisional P6. So not too bad of a lap. Is he going to go for another lap? He gets a bit of a slide. Looks like everyone doesn't seem to be running wets up, so it looks like they are running more dry setups, so perhaps it is a dry race, perhaps not. But a lot of people retiring from the session. Is that because they've crashed or they're just given up, not going to go quicker? They've got 1 minute 22, so if they leave now, this looks like this is going to be everyone's last laps. Yellow's through sector 2, and it's Bryn. He's crashed at the castle, he's clipped the inside wall, and he's got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Volvis. That's going to put him down all the way into P11, which is not good at all. And he gets another 5-place grid penalty for a collision with a Toro Rosso, trying to spin around a castle. This is going to put him all the way at the back of the grid, so he's going to have a lot of work to do to try and make up the positions. Perhaps he's going to go for the more soft to hard strategy, try and get the positions back up the race, try and get the track position, then work on getting and pushing. Yellow's in sector 3. Is someone crashed? No, we've got the Red Bull going quite quickly though. Full commitment through there, nearly 200 miles per hour. Coming down here, using all the track, opens up the corner, gets a really good exit, and looks like he's going to have a really good tow from the Williams, I believe it is, ahead of him. Yeah, D-Boy Dan. So as long as he doesn't mess up these S's here, he's going to carry the momentum, and he's going to have a strong slipstream down towards the final lap. He taps the wall though. That's going to hinder his momentum down the straight. Is he still going to have a tow? It looks like he's going to have a slight slipstream with that Williams punching the hole through the air so he can get through. Looks like it's going to be a half decent lap though. He comes across the line, and it's provisional P2 with a 55.1, only 3/10 off pole, and we got. He's 2/10 up through the first sector is the McLaren of Walvis. So looks like he's on a good lap, but he's really tail happy through this middle castle section. So perhaps he's already lost the 2 temp positive delta he had. Full commitment through here, blipping the throttle just to keep the car rotated. Breaking a nice straight line, use all the track, doesn't lock up, but he's locked the rears, and he's spun the car, and I think that is his lap ruined. But if it stays like this, the quali grid, unless Riley can do anything, he comes across the line, and he goes P3, so it's a 1-3 for McLaren in qualifying. So your qualifying results are the McLaren of, oh no, Messi goes quickest with a 54.1 in the Renault, and Walvis has been left helpless there. So it's all 2-4 for McLaren, rather. So we've got Messi in the Renault on pole position, stellar lap time, almost 7/10 quicker than Walvis in P2. We've got Future in the Red Bull in P3. So yeah, we've got Future in the Red Bull in P3. We've got the Dutchman of Riley in the McLaren in P4, but he's got a 5-place grid penalty. We're going to demote him down to 9th position. Ivan though, in P5, try and catch, it's P6. PB Racing P7, he's got a 10-place grid penalty and will start from the back of the grid. Callum Anderson in the Alfa Romeo will be promoted up to P6. D-Boy Dan in P9, Wadlow Biddy in P10, TGT in 11th, Catboy in 12th, Aquaplane in P13, and Uwat in P14. So it looks like there's a slight drizzle for the race. Should still be on slicks. Doesn't look too heavy, but obviously the grip will be affected. Maybe they're starting in as. Should dry up towards the end of the race though. Oh yeah, I could see aquaplaning. So obviously with a short run, only 300 meters, not too long in F1. It's quite a short run. As long as Walvis can get a decent launch, he could be able to get Messi into turn 1 and potentially hold on to that position. But obviously Messi could hang around the outside, defend his position especially on lap 1, but a lot of drivers, especially towards the back of the grid, will not be wanting to fight each other, want to be working together to try and get through the field as efficiently as they can. So it looks like there's no formation lap. Is it the formation lap? Yes, it's the formation lap. So the cars, they're all starting on slicks. We've got, I think, a few medium runners, one hard runner, but the majority of drivers, I think, is a mixed strategy between the mediums and the softs. It's going to be interesting to see what people can do. Obviously, the mediums are going to be a lot more difficult to warm up, especially now it's damp conditions for the race. But so there we go, longer into the stint and have fresher tyres towards the end of the race. But the softs, they have a fresh rubber off the line, so potentially could get in a few places, get the gap, and then tyres won't be much of an issue as long as they can hold on to that lead. It gathered. But yeah, seems like a lot of people just trying to warm up the tyres on this lap, warm up the brakes, keep the battery and fuel relatively calm. Obviously these sort of conditions are going to show what the best drivers can do, because obviously every lap the track will be changing. Whether that's getting drier or getting wetter, they'll have to adapt to a strategy. If it gets wet, they'll have to put on the inters, they'll have to decide when to do that, when it's right. And yeah, it looks like Messi's already at back of the grid, as long as the McLaren, so it looks like they got disqualified, must have had a bit of a run in. I'll be right back, I'm just going to go get a glass of water. So, are people lining up on the grid yet? It looks like they're rounding the last couple of corners. Yeah, I'm ready to line up. But perhaps the medium runners see something we don't. Perhaps it's going to get wetter towards the end of the race, so they're going to stretch out that medium stint longer, so they don't have to make a stop for a second set of slicks, so they can just go straight to the wet period. But yeah, looks like they're all lined up on the grid. Hopefully all their tyres are warm, and we can have a nice clean getaway. Have a better camera angle than someone's window, please, game, or is that not an option? So it looks like we are going to the lights. Ah, there's the camera angle I want. We got 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go at Azerbaijan. Looks like Walvis has got a decent start. Is he going to be able to go for a move? They make contact, he's spun round, and Walvis has spun round, he makes contact with Red Bull, and that is him down to the back of the grid. Bit more carnage. We got Ivan spun around as well. Looks like Riley got tangled up. Also Callum up a few places off the line. There's a bit of contact. Try and catch going really slowly. And looks like the VSC after lap 1. So yeah, looks like the VSC is over and they're back racing again. And looks like Messi's got a decent getaway. I think that turn 1 incident between the two fronts, and Walvis goes down the inside of his McLaren teammate. Whether the team orders are in effect there or not will be interesting to see what Walvis can do to get back up the field. He's looking down the inside of D-Boy Dan, but the Williams is on the back of the Haas. He's going to go for a cutback, try and get the better exit, but we've got Toro Rosso and everyone going slowly as Bryn perhaps made a move up there. We've got everyone getting quite a slow exit. So Wav is going to go down the inside and not one, but two cars. He's having to cut the corner slightly as Ivan didn't really need to give him the space. He wasn't there. Sort of a half-hearted move. Coming into castle section. Hopefully no one goes for a move. But we've got the Toro Rosso going slowly and everyone's going to go around him. Aquaplane and Billy going to be able to get around him. We've got Ivan going to go down the inside. He's going to open him up. So Walvis can get a cut back on both of them and he gets a good drive out of the exit. And he's down and he's back up into P10 after a shocking start. So he's back into the points. Let's see if he can keep it clean. It looks like Messi has already broken free as Aquaplane almost touches the wall there. But it looks like Messi has, and there's another VSC, perhaps there's too much debris on the track. I think Riley touched the wall there as well. It looks like there's some Williams front wing, as I think a lot of people are going to be coming into the pits for some fresh wings, as, you know, Baku with that wing damage. It's not the best track by any means. But yeah, that's two VSCs on the first lap already. But yeah, it looks like try and catches into the pits. Anyone else going to decide to pit? Maybe not. Maybe. Obviously on the VSC, it's the perfect time to pit because they are under. They have to keep between 40% of their lap time speed, so they are a lot slower. So instead of say 25-second pit loss, you're only looking about 10-ish seconds. So you don't lose out as much, say, if the VSC wasn't deployed. But yeah, we see almost about a quarter of the grid pulling into the pits for some fresh front wings. I think everyone except Ivan goes onto a medium set compound tyre. But the green flag again, there's a bit of contact between Walvis and Wadlow Biddy as he's trying to make his way back through the field. He's got a long race, doesn't need to rush anything, but he gets a good run out of the corner. He's alongside into the braking zone, and I think Billy is just going to concede that position. And there's yellow flags in sector 1, and let's try and catch. He's gone deep, and he's going to have to reverse that dire start for the for some drivers here. Back to the green flags though. We've got the Catboy keep making a really good start, up 8 places I think on the opening lap. And there's more yellow flags in sector 1. What's this for? Has someone else gone into the barrier? It looked like went into the barrier actually. But we got the Ferrari chasing down, and Bryn chasing down, but he's must got wing damage because Bryn's trying to chase him down and he gets a much better run through that corner. It seems like everyone's taking it cautiously though. A lot of people jumping over the curb, and we got a 4-way train for the fight for the podium. Walvis on the back of Aquaplane. Is he going to go for a move into the final corner? No, he's going to wait, be smart, clever driving, wait for the slipstream. But we've got Catboy who makes a brilliant move around the outside there of Callum Anderson, but he looks like he's got wing damage. He's pushing on a lot. This is going to allow the Ferrari and the Mercedes to catch up a lot. Now they've got slipstream down a 2-kilometer long straight, the longest straight I believe on the calendar, as I think Messi's lost a big chunk of time to future. But I think, yeah, the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo are peeling off into the pits. But we've got Aquaplane trying to go for a move on PB Racing, but he doesn't brake late enough or commit enough, and Bryn managed to sail around the long side. But there's a safety car deployed, so only 3 laps in we've had 2 VSCs and a safety car. So this safety car will bunch the field back up, so the people who say didn't have such good starts, say Walvis, who's already impressively back up into P6, they'll close the gaps and we'll go for a race restart. So obviously, while the debris is being cleared, all the drivers have to stick to a lap delta, and that's why you'll see them slowing down so the marshals can clear the debris or the car or whatever it is off the track. So far no retirements, so it looks like most of the safety car crunch has been purely because of debris, but we see a lot of people returning to the pits, a lot of mixed strategies. We've got people on mediums, people on softs, people pitting for hards again. So the leader will obviously line up behind the safety car, and then once the safety car pulls in, the leader will then control the pace and set us off again to go green. So Bryn and Catboy having really good starts here, jumping up I think at least 8 to 10 positions, so really good start for them. Obviously with a safety car they're going to be even closer to the leaders if they can try and do anything. Doesn't look like the rain's stopping. Seems like it's staying at sort of this light drizzle area, so it's really awkward. Just sort of on the crossover between slicks and wets, but slicks are slightly quicker. There's not just enough sand and water to keep the wets cool. It looks like Messi and Future are pulling into the pit lane. It might have the gap. They're not going to come out ahead of anyone, but they're pulling in. They're pulling in for hard compound tyres, perhaps for a longer stint going in, but Messi gets held in the pits. Is he serving a penalty? Perhaps. He got there. So he's down from the lead of the race into P7, and Future emerges in P6. So this is promoted the Toro Rosso into P1 and PB into P2, neither of which have stopped yet. But yeah, Catboy in the Toro Rosso lining up behind the safety car, trying to keep at a slow pace. Hopefully doesn't do a repeat of Baku 2017, obviously, where Lewis and Sebastian had their bit of a run in. But yeah, we're only 4 laps in, and we've had a safety car, 2 VSCs, and quite an action-packed race so far, so it's going to be interesting to see what the rest of the 22 laps can bring us. But obviously all the pack now bunching back up before the safety car restart. Looks like Callum is trying to burn some fuel, unless that's just a graphical glitch. Yeah, I think that's just a graphical glitch. So as of the safety car, we've got Catboy and PB in P1, P2, with Akpalen following closely behind, and Walvis, who had pretty poor start, he's spun round at the first corner after contact with Messi. He's back up into P4 already, Wildlow Biddy in P5, the Red Bull of Future in P6, Messi P7, Callum Anderson P8, Riley P9, TGT P10, try and catch in P11, D-Boy down in P12, Ivan in P13, and Baboon in P14. So far no retirements in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but obviously got a long race to go, and it is Baku, so I will be expecting a couple of people to retire. And as that is the Ferrari of TGT pulling over into the pits. Quite a late call, as the safety car could be coming in. Hopefully he has enough time to catch back up with the pack. He should do. He's switching over to soft compound tyres. Excuse me. Is he on the soft? He's looks like he's on the softs, but the graphics tell me he's on the medium. So once again, Codemasters, you're doing a fantastic job. Looks like the safety car is going to be for a while. The people on the hards are going to have a much of a harder time trying to warm up their tyres, trying to get the temperature in the tyres so they have more grip. Whereas the people on the softs and the mediums will have a slightly easier time. So the safety car is in this lap, so when it pulls into the pits to the Toro Rosso, he is backing up the field. He's backing up the field as he controls the pace, so we can control the pace slow everyone right down to the right up behind each other. He can get a good getaway and everyone else can battle behind him. I believe that's what he's trying to do. And really so, once he passes the the timing line, we are going to be going green. But ARC Ivan has been given a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with whether that was a mistake or what. But yeah, it looks like Catboy, is he punching it just yet? He's going to go really slowly just before the line. And Bryn is going to pull out. He gets such a good restart. Catboy's caught napping off the restart. They're going to go 3-1 into turn 1. Looks like the Ferrari's going to get caught out. There's contact. Bryn holds around the outside, but Wide Nobility going to get a cutback on all three of them and get into the lead of the race. It looks like the Red Bull's going to go try and side by side. I think that 3 wide again. Is Red Bull going to be able to get the best exit? Catboy Key having an appalling restart off there. Wow, this managing to get the move. He's gone from P1 to P6 in a matter of a couple of corners, and is Bryn going to be able to eye up and move on the Red Bull? He doesn't break commit enough, so the Red Bull is up into P3 with Wide Nobility leading the race temporarily, but he's closely followed by the Ferrari and the Red Bull and the Mercedes, and it looks like Messi's making a couple of positions on Callum and Riley there. Is Callum going to be able to go for a counter move? He's not breaking late enough. It almost goes into the back of him. Looks like everyone's keeping it clean and tidy at the moment. Coming into the castle section of the safety car restart is going to be really tight. Looks like Wow was touching the gearbox of PB Racing there. He brakes nice and late, trying not to get any damage because I believe the Toro Rosso has got some wing damage. Look, you can see him pushing on quite a lot. He must be lacking some downforce. It looks like the Renault of Messi is going to pull to the outside. He's going to go for it around the outside, and it looks like the Toro Rosso is just going to concede the position, but he also concedes the position to P8 of Callum Anderson, and they make contact, they lock wheels, and Callum Anderson goes into the wall. He smacks into the back of PMV, try and catch, and Catboy Key, but Riley's going to benefit the most off this, manages to take a smart drive, go out wide, cut in, and he's up into P7. Don't know what happened there. I believe it was just Callum Anderson trying to take the race line. He thought the Toro Rosso was going to back off, and he crashes, and he's crashed himself out of the race. And that is Callum Anderson, the first retirement. Is that going to cause a safety car? We'll see. It causes a VSC, so everyone's trying to slow down back to the lap delta. It looks like try and catch. Overtook him under safety car. Is he going to give the position back? Perhaps. But PB Racing in the pits. We've got No Future in the pits. Also Ivan in the pits. Perhaps serving his penalty. No, he's not in the pits. But so far, Wide Nobility getting the best starts of anyone, and he's up into the lead of the race. And Aquaplane in P2. Walvis back up into P3, back into the podium positions. I don't think he's got any wing damage, but this is a good opportunity for everyone to save fuel, save ERS, and it looks like we're going green again, but there's more yellow flags in sector 1, and I think that's the Haas going slowly. He's tapped the barrier, I think. But is Aquaplane close enough? Not quite. Is the McLaren here close enough to Messi? He's all over the back of him, coming down. There's not really an overtaking opportunity in this section of the track. He can have a look down the inside. Thinks better off it, goes slowly, hits the apex, and Messi trying to work together with him to not lose as much time. Looks like there's a bit of a train back here between try and catch Andy Boydan. 5 tenths between them. Obviously, I think DRS is enabled. Not entirely sure. Everyone seems to click the airport. We've got the Ferrari right on the gearbox of Wide Nobility now. In the slipstream, he's going to pump it up to 4th. The overtake, mode 4. So is Wide Nobility. He's got a substantial amount more ERS than Wide Nobility. Obviously, ERS is the hybrid power unit in the car. Is this Aquaplane peeling off into the pits? There's yellow flags inside the free. Aquaplane peeling off into the pits. It's going to promote Walvis into P2, and there's another virtual safety car. Again, there's 2 virtual safety cars in around a lap and a half. So it looks like there's another retirement of Catboy Key. That must have been what triggered it. I want to see what this is. It looks like he's just been planted in the wall. As PB Racing touches the wall there. Is that going to be some wing damage for the Mercedes? Looks like, again, really inside race, but the virtual safety cars and the safety cars are coming out really often. We're only 8 laps in. I think we've had a VSC every couple of laps or so. DRS has been enabled. We're going green once again. The VSC is in, and this is going to be the Future in the pits again. This is going to promote the Ferrari into P10, but it looks like the closest battle we have on track at the moment is the Racing Point, of try and catch, or the battle for the lead with a McLaren trying to chase down Wildlife Biddy. But it looks like even on the hard tyres he's still got good pace, especially now the softs are starting to wear off a little bit after 7 laps. Yeah, we've got try and catch, try and follow Riley nice and closely, trying not to lose too much time, but we'll stay on board with the lead 2 for the moment. He's going to obviously have DRS coming down the main straight, so I think that's what he's going to wait for. Try and stay with the 1 second gaps, harvest his DRS, and you see Wildlife Billy using all of his energy there, trying to get out of the slipstream, but I don't think it's going to work, especially on the harder compound tyres. Yeah, within 5 tenths he's going to have DRS, a strong slipstream coming down the back straight. Should be an easy move unless Wildlife Billy can do something about it. Looks like he's going to be able to make the move stick before the DRS is deployed. He's going to squeeze him right to the outside though. They're going to go side by side, but I think with DRS enabled it's going to be quite an easy move. But Wildlife Billy in the slipstream could go for another move as there is another DRS zone now coming up after turn 2, and it looks like Riley and Try and Catch going side by side as Try and Catch hits the wall. Trying to go for a savage lunge on Riley there. It looks like Riley manages to hold the position around the outside. But Wildlife Biddy under 20%, so he's losing a slight bit of power even in the DRS. So this is going to be a perfect opportunity for the McLaren to try and pull a gap, especially with a lot more ERS than him. But Messi in close pursuit as well, and D-Boy Dan making a move. Oh, is that Try and Catch trying to go down the inside? They're still side by side. The Williams is going to try and stick it in. He's still on the inside. His Tack going to go for a switchback, maybe in the slipstream. Dan, as you can see, harvesting energy, and it looks like it's going to be a good move. Try and Catch, I think, has wing damage. He's really going full lock and not going anywhere, so I think it might be better if he just gives the position, tries not to lose too much time to the cars behind. But it looks like Wildlife Billy has fallen out of the DRS, so this is going to be the perfect opportunity for Wowers in clean air to just try and push, get some laps in, get the gap, so when he does come to pit he's not going to lose too much time. But it looks like D-Boy Dan is slightly catching to the McLaren in front of him of Riley, obviously on fresher and softer tyres, well inside the DRS zone, well inside the slipstream. He could potentially go for a move into turn 1. Obviously we've got a really long straight, so it could be possible, but Riley has a lot more ERS to burn here. D-Boy Dan having to sacrifice a lot more energy just to try and stay with him through this final sector. Riley's going to try and break the toe, goes to the inside to break it. He's going to run out of energy rather quickly though, as opposed to Riley who can just sail in. It's going to be close. He's going to go sub it. He pulls out to the inside. He's going to go for the move down the inside, but Riley manages to take the race line, hold it around, but he goes slightly wide, and D-Boy Dan is going to have a run into turn 2. Can he outbrake him? No, he's going to hold back, wait for the DRS, get a good exit, punch it up into overtake. No hot lap in the DRS, but I don't think this straight is quite long enough to go for a move, so he's going to have to try and stick in the slipstream, save his DRS through this infield section. But I think Ferrari also making a move, as I think Try and Catch goes into the pits, must fight wing damage. He goes onto the hard competent tyres, potentially could take those to the end of the race if there's not another VSC. But yeah, we've got D-Boy Dan closing in on the McLaren, but we've also got the Renault closing in on the Haas of Wildlife Biddy. Through Castle, he's gained a lot more. He's definitely on fresher tyres, so definitely going to be an advantage. Well inside the slipstream, well inside the DRS, and is probably going to go for a move into turn 1, I'd imagine, unless he goes for a savage lunge here. That won't be too smart though, as well, but he could come back in. He has a little look, tucks back in to take the racing line. However, we got the Ferrari and the Haas quite close as well. This is going to be tight, but we've got Messi trying to make his way up. He's going to try and get a good run through these S's. Gets the better exit, he pumps it up, and the best thing for Wildlife Billy to do is to tuck in. Looks like an easy move for Messi up into P2. This is now hopefully where he's going to try and close the gap to Valverde. I should be feeling a slight bit aware, but I think the Ferrari and the Haas have made the moves as well. The Aquaplane up into P6, Ivan down to P7. And it looks like this is the closest. No, we've got Wilder Biddy potentially coming back at Messi. He goes in deep and he touches the wall. And there's definitely going to be some debris on the track after that. He might have to pit. It looks like, yeah, there's definitely some end plate damage to the front right there. So he's going to be losing a lot of downforce, especially through this infield section. He's going to probably have to pit if he doesn't want to lose time. But Messi, just in the DRS, maybe if he can punch, use some of his battery, get inside the DRS, and then he can try and save behind Walvis. Roughly the same amount of ERS, only 5% in it. Messi now just inside the 1 second zone for DRS, for half a tenth. Now closing it in to just about under a tenth in, 8 tenths the gap is. This could be an exciting battle to the end of the race. Looks like he runs a little bit wide. Has to scrub off a bit of speed. Try not to hit into the barrier. But within 5 tenths, he's going to have DRS. He's got overtake. Will Valvis try and fight this? He's in overtake himself. We've got Messi well inside the slipstream. He's going to go to the defensive line. He pulls into the pits though, and Valvis is in the pits. So Messi inherits the lead of the Azerbaijan. See what tyres Valvis goes on to, however. This is going to be an important decision for him. Is he going to go for hards to the end? It looks like he is. He's going to go for hard compound tyres to the end. It also looks like Wadler Billy is coming into the pits, as well as D-Boy Dan. Be interesting to see what tyres they go on to. Is Wadler, he's going on to, I think, another set of medium compound tyres, potentially to the end, if he stretches them out. Obviously a new front wing on the Haas as well. This promotes the Ferrari up into P7. It's going to be close, I think. Yeah, the Ferrari up into P7, Bryn up into P6. Wow, this down in P5, but he's got a decent gap to the car ahead, who will probably pit before he catches up. So he's got some clean air to try and put some laps in, try and get the move, or, well, in terms of strategy on Messi. But Messi also in clean air, so he's got a lot of clean air to try and push and extend the gap, while he's still got decent rubber on his tyre. So we've got a Renault, McLaren, Ferrari, Haas, McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, Williams, McLaren, Racing Point, Toro Rosso and a Red Bull lining up the grid with the 2 retirements, Catboy and Callum, who both unfortunately retired from the race. 12 runners left. Obviously points awarded to the top 10. Obviously the key to this sort of track is, any track, but especially this one, is just try and get your head down and put some consistent lap times in. It looks like Wilder Biddy is closing in on D-Boy Dan. Is he going to be able to get into the DRS? Scraping, he's under the second mark. He needs to prioritise a good exit here. He's got a lot more ERS to use. I think D-Boy Dan knows this, as Wilder Biddy punches it up into mode 4 overtake, so he's getting the most top end speed out of the car. He's in the DRS, in the slipstream. Is he going to be able to go for a move? Maybe, if he can get a good enough run. It doesn't look like he's close enough. Perhaps for the next lap. There's the Ferrari of TGT coming into the pits. Looks like he's not quite close enough. Definitely closed the gap on him though, especially for this second DRS zone. It looks like D-Boy Dan is saving energy as well as Wadler Biddy, but he's well inside the DRS. Is he going to be able to go for a move? He punched it up into mode 4. So does D-Boy Dan, but he's running out of ERS. And Wadler Biddy, he pulls out. Is he going to have a little look? He brakes a lot later. Pump braking down to the apex. Doesn't seem to be close enough just yet. So he's going to follow behind as D-Boy Dan makes a slight lockup. We're going to follow behind, harvest the ERS, and have another go perhaps on the 2 km straight when we pass that again. So far these are the 2 closest cars on track, following closely, and try and catch isn't too far behind this fight, but Wadler Biddy just needs to prioritise staying with him while he's got the fresh rubber. He's got to get past, so we can just put some laps in on the fresh rubber and try and make up the positions, try and make up the time. But it looks like Messi is driving a really consistent race, not making any mistakes. So he's back into the lead, but D-Boy Dan locks up and he's in the barrier, and that is D-Boy Dan. He has damaged front wing. He locks up, he broke too late, tried to turn one, he was braking the front left, the front right I believe it was, locked up, and he just didn't have any rotation on the car, so he's definitely going to have to pit for a new front wing, as Ivan is promoted into P3 as Aquaplane in pits. See what tyres he's going on to. Perhaps mediums to the end of the race. Yep, they are definitely medium compound tyres to the end of the race. Brilliant up into P5 again. Wow, this promoted up into P4 after only 2 laps on his stint. But we got D-Boy Dan. Is he he's pulling into the pits, so he won't be able to make the move just yet on the Toro Rosso. Locks up, trying to slow down into the pits. We've got the Ferrari of Aquaplane and closely following Wilo Biddy through this tight and twisty section of the circuit. It seems like Wilo Biddy gets much better exits off the corners. He gained about 3 or so tenths just off the exit of that corner alone. So maybe the Aquaplane is slightly struggling in that Ferrari. Let's try and catch this closing in slowly. Is he? No, seems to be about the same gap. It looks like Messi is driving a really consistent race. Is he going to be able to go for softs to the end, perhaps, or will he have to settle for mediums? And Aquaplane has fallen out of the DRS range of Wilo Biddy, so this could leave him vulnerable to attack from try and catch in a couple of laps time. He goes in deep, uses all the track on the exit. So we're now past the halfway point of the race, only 11 laps left of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We've had quite an action-packed race so far, a lot of incidents, a lot of debris and a lot of safety cars. After the update that Codemasters patched the safety cars, wanted to give them a bit more often, but I think they've done it a bit too often in terms of safety car deployment, especially for a track like Baku. However, Messi still leading the charge, 8 seconds between him and Riley, and he seems to be driving quite a consistent race. No mistakes, no major mistakes has cost him at all. He seems to be just taking it chill, not driving too ferociously, just trying to not keep that car in the barrier. Aquaplane just outside the DRS range. Is he able to close in just enough? Looks like Wilo Biddy gets to drive through castle section to just keep him out of the DRS range. I'll be really interested to see when Messi pits and where he comes out in comparison to Walvis, because I think it's going to be really close. Messi will probably pit for soft compound tyres to the end of the race, and when he does that, Walvis will be vulnerable, held vulnerable for attack from the from the Renault, as he will have the softer pressure. But we've got the 2 Red Bulls going quite close. The Red Bull of No Future has limited ERS, so he's going to perhaps. Sorry about that, but we got, I think Aquaplane definitely closed up there to Wilo Biddy. I think Wilo Biddy perhaps made a mistake which closed the gap, but I think he's going to be able to get out of the DRS zone if he just nails these next couple of corners, which Aquaplane really doesn't want. He wants to try and stay close to the back of Wilo Billy. But I think he's going to do it. DRS range. Looks like the Haas of ART Ivan is on the back of Try and Catch, so he has equalish energy, but Try and Catch goes really wide and nearly robs a Bravia and loses his wheel. ART Ivan is going to go for the move down the inside. They're going to go side by side through this. A slight bit of contact. Try and Catch runs wide, tries to stick it back up the inside. Who's going to have DRS though? Coming down the main pit straight. This is going to invite the Red Bull though to have a go attack as well. He's not got as much DRS as him. He's got DRS though. He's going to be losing some deployment. Is Try and Catch going to be able to come back at him? He comes into the pits, maybe for some wing damage, but is Future going to be able to look at? He's going to go through it down the inside into turn 1. He's going to touch the front wheel of the Haas though. ART Oven, could he come back at him? We've got yellow flags in sector 3. What perhaps is this for? I think it's gone back to green. That was a stellar move, you know, waiting for the other people to do their busy work for you, but is Ivan going to have another run at him? He's going to brake late, show his nose, but no Future's going to hold it around the outside to keep the P7 position. But looks like Tack emerges just ahead of the Toro Rosso. This is going to be the fight for the final points per position. He's got DRS. He's going to just try and save his ERS in the slipstream, perhaps save fuel as well. You're going to have a little look down the inside, thinks better of it, thinks it's not worth his time to be battling at this stage, and obviously it's going to be a bit of an ambitious move. Looks like Riley made a couple of mistakes as well, as Messi's pulled up another 1.5 seconds on him. Looks like Aquaplaning though, looks like Aquaplaning got ahead of the Haas of Wilo Billy. He's on the back now of PB Racing. D-Boy Dan gets a 5-second penalty for unsafely exiting the pits. PB Racing only got 25% 20% now ERS. He's going to be losing slight bit of deployment, so this is going to be an easy move for the Ferrari. He's not got much ERS himself. Is PB going to defend? Is he going to go into the pits? He's going to defend as tight as he can, going into turn 1. Is PB going to try and stick his nose in? No, he tucks into the slipstream, saves his ERS, and he's going to have another go at him, perhaps into the braking zone of turn 3. Saves his ERS. Is he going to punch it up into mode 4? He is, but he gets a bit of a rough exit. There's yellow flags in sector 2 as D-Boy Dan has unfortunately retired from the session. He didn't have that good of a race, but it's Bryn. He's going to go for it down the inside of turn 3. Oh, the Ferrari's going to go for a cutback, doesn't get a good enough exit. Bryn covers it off really nicely there, but Bryn gets a pretty poor exit. Is the Ferrari going to be able to have a run at him? He's going to defend half-heartedly. He brakes late early, and just going to try and go for a double cutback through this tight chicane. He's got the run. Is he going to be able to go for the move? This coming into the tight section of the track, so contact could be near. Bryn is going to try. He squeezes him to the inside. Aquaplaning forces his way through though. Bryn going to try and stick up the inside of Castle. No, he's going to think better of that move, and good on him for doing so. Aquaplaning up into P4. Bryn really feisty, trying to get ahead, but he gets a really shaky exit. This is going to allow the Haas of Whiteboard Billy to try and have a move around the outside. He's tapping the wall, lifts off and concedes position, trying to go for the move perhaps with DRS down the main straight. He's got and Bryn goes in deep and touches the wall. It's going to allow Whiteboard Billy to go for the move down the inside into one of the penultimate corners. Is Bryn going to try to hang around the outside? No, he's going to concede the position, go for the DRS move, as he's got a lot more ERS than Wildlow Billy has at this stage in the race. So he's pumping up into 4th, into mode 4 in the slipstream. But look how much time they've lost to the Ferrari just by battling. He's out of the DRS, so perhaps not the most intelligent move, but they're going to fight over the P5 position as Bryn peels off into the pits. So he's going to be going on to soft compound tyres, I'd imagine, till the end of the race. It's like Messi is controlling the race at the moment. He's gonna, if he pits now, he's gonna emerge around about P3, a couple of seconds behind the McLaren of Walvis there. But Bryn, he's gonna emerge. It's gonna be close between him as Try and Catch that's the fastest lap of the race with a 41.7 here. He's gonna emerge behind PB Racing. So Bryn's got some nice clean there to try and push on the soft compound tyres, try and get the gap. with the 7 laps remaining in the race, but we got the Haas of Ivan and the Red Bull of Future trying to go, you know, sort of following each other quite nicely. Has Ivan got more DRS? He has got a lot more ERS than the Red Bull of Future there. So he's going to have a lot more battery to play with when he's trying to overtake him. So down the main straight, he could just easily sail past in the Ferrari-powered Haas. As PB Racing gets a time penalty for multiple warnings, he must have slightly cut the runoff area there of that tight corner, as we see a lot of people do. But Ivan's slightly falling out the DRS range. He's going to have to use a lot more of his battery to try and claw back into it. Look how much energy he's harvested though just by doing that. But I think that's Riley peeling off into the pits, promoting Walvis into second place. And Messi, if he pits now, he's going to pit for softs, or he's going to stretch them hard, which could be viable. You've got an 18-second gap, so why risk pitting when he's got the decent level tyres, decent level gap, and he should be alright. Riley's going to emerge just behind the mini train of the Haas and the Red Bull we have here. Is he going to be able to claw his way into P5? Everyone just following in the DRS train at the minute. Future trying to harvest his DRS. He's literally got no battery left, and his deployment is going to be slightly weakened once he gets below that 10%. And Ivan and Riley got a lot more ERS to play with, both harvesting it through this middle sector. Future, rather than, you know, using none or low to try and harvest the energy, he's still deploying it, and he's not harvesting as much as he could be. But these two do not want to be battling. Ivan's going to defend. Not the wisest move. He's going to look to the outside. Ivan locks up slightly, going into Castle. This is going to allow Future perhaps to get out of the DRS. So this is not the smartest driving from the Haas and McLaren driver. And as you can see, the Red Bull has just breached out the DRS gap. This is going to help him tremendously when it comes to defending his P5 position. But Riley and Ivan really want to try and work together to try and claw for the P5 position, as they both have a lot more ERS. So whether they know that or not is unknown. But yeah, he's out of the DRS, which is really good. He's got his head down while they were fighting and managed to get a gap. But this is going to be Riley and Ivan going to go for a move into turn 1 with slipstream and DRS. Should be quite a clean sail move. Up the inside, yeah, looks like he's going to get the move stuck. Yeah. And Waddler Billy into the pits. So, should be quite an easy move. Is Ivan going to hang around the outside? No, he tucks in. He's going to have DRS though through here. But is Riley going to be able to get into the DRS of the Red Bull? Looks like he is. He is in the DRS, which is going to save him perhaps from a Haas. Looks like Bryn and try and catch again. Does try and catch goes really wide, almost hitting the barrier through turn 1 there. It looks like he's backing off, trying to make sure he doesn't put it in the wall, as he hasn't had the cleanest of races today. So this is going to be Riley for the move on the Red Bull. He's going to dive down the inside. Bit of contact, bit of locking up, bit of wheel rubbing. Front wing touches there. Eventually Future has to concede though. No way he's going to try and hang around the outside and go for the inside for Castle. It's just not going to work. 2 into 1 there doesn't really work. But this has allowed Ivan to close back up on the pack with his 70% ERS. More than both of them combined at the moment. And definitely could save him as Riley goes in slightly deep. This is going to allow Future to try and stay with him. Riley obviously on 1 lap soft compound tyres, with the other 2 on a lot more worn rubber, so he should be putting his head down at the moment, trying to just get the gap, get away from him, because these guys are going to be loving this at the moment. They're not going to have to use as much fuel or ERS to stick with him. So through the infield sections, he's going to have to try very hard to try and break away, but so are these guys going to have to try really hard to stay in the DRS of him. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to stick with him. Fighting over the P4 place, of course. Messi still holding a really good gap, despite being on 8 lap older tyres than Walvis. So yeah, it looks like Riley with his fresher tyres and good strategy thinking, has slightly broken out of the DRS range, but he hasn't got as much ERS as Ivan has. The Red Bull doesn't have too much ERS either. This is wide load Biddy and try and catch. They're going side by side. The Haas is on the inside. The Racing Point on the outside. He's going to try and squeeze him to the inside, give him the tight line possible, run out to the outside. He's going to hang around the outside. There's slight contact with the side pod, but try and catch, hangs it around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner, I believe, of turn 4. Sticks his nose in. Billy tries to stick his nose in. Tack trying to give him the squeeze, but I think Ryder Billy has got the position. What do you think of that or not? I think Tack was right to take the race line, but Billy was right to stick his nose in. And they are fighting over P10, but the Toro Rosso is trying to get in on this fight. This is for the fight for points paying positions. But now the Toro Rosso getting really close to the barriers there, not leaving anything on the table. So far he's got really nothing to lose in this race. Looks like he's dropping off the back though. Try and catch. He clips the barrier and he's gone into the barrier. So that's not going to be ideal. He's definitely going to have at least yellow wing damage, end plate damage. Has he got end plate damage? It looks like he has. So definitely not an ideal situation for Tag. That's definitely going to hinder him. He's only got 3 laps left though, so he should be alright to continue to the end. He just has to try and stay with Billy as best he can, especially as he got more ERS deployment than him. He's in the slipstream while Billy defends. There's still a gap on the inside. Tag pulls to the outside though, brakes early. Gonna go for a cutback as Billy goes wide, but so does Tag. Slightly outbrakes himself. He's gonna go for it perhaps for the second DRS zone. Gets a good exit. Billy's a bit shaky after he went straight over the curb. Billy giving everything to defend, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He defends quite late. Tag robs the back of him. He's going to brake quite early, trying to. The Bryn has gone off. He's gone straight on there, and he's lost out. He's out of the point, and I think Wilder Billy managed to defend his position because of the yellow flag, so Tag wasn't allowed to overtake him. And this promoted the Toro Rosso into points for positions. He taps the wall, definitely going to give him a slight bit of end plate damage, and he's right on the gearbox to try and catch now. This is going to be the fight for the last couple of laps. He's going to go for it down the inside. Is Tag going to give him a rim? Is he going to give him a rim on the outside? He's trying to squeeze it to the outside. This is not going to work. 2 and 2 doesn't go. So one's going to have to back out. And he tries to go for it around the outside of the castle section. Smashes into the barrier. Really wasn't going to work. It's too tight of a corner. 2 and 1 really doesn't go. And I'd say that's the Toro Rosso's fault. Really shouldn't have put his car there. He went deep, clipped the barrier. Oh, and he gets another oversteer moment and clips barrier, and definitely got end plate damage now. You can see some of the end plates are missing off the front wing of that Toro Rosso. So this is going to allow Tag to pull away, but he's still in the DRS and he's got a sizable chunk of ERS to use. But you can see the Toro Rosso having to lift through the S's there, but he's still going to pull out, and they're going to go side by side even with ERS. So he's going to drop down the energy to 2 as he's got DRS to sort of protect him there. Is Tag going to stick his nose in? Late break, he's going to stick his nose in, but the Toro Rosso goes in deep. He tries to hang around the outside. He goes in deep, comes back onto track, and Tag, with a better exit, is going to take P9 once again. But we've got the Ferrari and the Haas here quite close as well. Battle for P6. Going to try and get a cutback, rise over the curb, gets a decent exit, pretty equal. But Ivan has an substantial amount of ERS to play with as opposed to the 40% that TGT has, whereas Ivan has 80, nearly a full battery, but he clips the wall. Don't think that's going to lose him too much time. As long as TGT can stay in the DRS, he should be good. But if they stay like this, TGT goes for the move, it's going to be a close call as Messi rounds onto the penultimate lap. But we've got the Toro Rosso really close, and he goes for the move. But this is going to go duplicate lap. We'll Tag back out. He finally backs out, but the Toro Rosso goes in really deep, almost loses his wheel, and has a substantial amount of wing damage. You can see the end plate is probably almost completely gone. Yeah, his front wing end plate has almost completely gone. He's pushing on a lot, so it should be an easy move from him. The Toro Rosso is going to break really late. He's going to understeer, yeah, and Tag is still waiting up for him for some reason. He could have gone for the move. But yeah, it looks like the Ferrari and the Haas are going to go. Is it Ivan going to stick it down the inside? He's going to stick it down the inside. The Ferrari sweeps across and clips his front right wheel there. And he spins round. And that's really unfortunate for the Haas driver there. I don't know whose fault that was. TGT sort of tried to swoop around the outside, try and cover his position. Ivan stuck his nose in, not too much, so sort of a racing incident. But yeah, definitely really unfortunate for the Haas, who's trying a really strong race. He's still got enough battery, only 2 laps to go. He's going to need a miracle to make it back. But Toro Rosso goes wide, and they're pushing each other, squeezing each other into the braking zone of turn 2. How the Toro Rosso is fighting this with no end plate, I don't know. He hangs it around the outside. He gets an oversteer moment, and he's in the wall. Has he brought tack with him? He has. And the 2 last point playing positions are both ended up in the wall, and tack manages to pull away from the Toro Rosso of Baboon there. Really unfortunate, as the Toro Rosso really didn't have much to do. He lost the rear, and but I think this is tack waiting up, trying to have a good battle with him, trying to round off the last lap. But tack goes in really deep, so does the Toro Rosso. Messi now ended his final lap. He's close to lapping these guys if they're not careful. So yeah, Messi now on the final lap. Dylan, I think there's been about 3 VSCs and a full safety car. Wildload Billy and the 2 Hasses going, but Ivan's going really slow. Is he letting his teammate through? Oh, Ivan's got no front wing end plate there, so he's definitely going to be lacking in downforce. Did I see that correctly? Has he got end plate? It doesn't look like it. It looks like he's got really bad front wing damage. Going to concede to his teammate though. Looks like the Toro Rosso and tack are really struggling. Messi coming through the midway point of the final lap. Looks like if he can just keep his nose clean for the last couple of corners, he should be alright. We've got the teammates going side by side. Looks like they're not battling too badly. These guys really braking, trying to have a good battle, but just not possible with the front wing damage. Messi rounding the last couple of corners. He is going to take a pretty outstanding victory. Really dominant drive, good strategy calls, went onto the hard side, catered his tyres to the end. He's going to weave down the back straight across the line, and he is going to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for EVR. Followed not so closely by the McLaren of Walvis, who's 18 seconds behind, but he's drove a really good race considering he didn't have the best of starts. And I think PMP try and catch, and the Toro Rosso have come together as tack has retired from the session on the final lap as Walvis comes home to take P2, followed relatively closely by the Ferrari, who's going to take the final podium position, followed 4 seconds behind Riley, who finishes P4. Quite a good race for McLaren. Really good race for Walvis. Definitely made his way back up after quite an appalling start. Red Bull comes home P5, with the Ferrari of TGT running quite a strong race. A couple of down moments, and the Toro Rosso also retiring. Wildload Biddy and the last 2 Haas drivers going to round off the last couple of corners, and going to finish P7 and P8 respectively. We had 6 retirements of the race, and very well done for all drivers there making it through, especially the top 3 definitely finishing on the podium. Really well done. So we got the Renault and McLaren and Ferrari drivers on the podium sharing the champagne today. So the final classifications were Messi, Walvis, Aquaplane, Riley, Future, TGT, Billy, Ivan, Baboon, Try and Catch, PB, D-Boy Dan, Catboy, Callum Anderson, and that rounds off the grid. Obviously with 6 retirements, only 8 people finished the race. A few penalties up and down the grid. But yeah, overall, really exciting race. as Baku always is. A lot of drama, a lot of safety cars, and some good battles across the field. I have to say, my driver of the day has got to be Aquaplane after such a good drive from almost the back of the grid up to a podium position. After quite a dramatic race, he managed to keep his nose clean, nailed the strategy, and got it to a decent position, as well as Walvis, who spun around turn 1 and managed to make it back up into a podium position as well. So really strong performances from them. Those two are my driver of the day. So I don't know if we're going to be doing post-race interviews, or perhaps get one or two maybe in. So we'll just get Brennan to have a bit of a chat. What went wrong? What happened? And I think that's all we've got really time for interviews. So, just gonna join Bryn's party and ask him what happened. Hi Bryn. Hello. Really? So yeah, I saw you really struggled, like sort of at the start.
Yeah, I did, but it's like the worst thing is that everybody was striving so bad. If you see Tack and bloody Jay at the end, they were just disgusting. That was plain disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened in quali. You sort of spun at Castle and had a bit of a tangle with a few drivers. Got the grid penalty.
It, honestly.
Still a decent-ish race, apart from when you crashed. You were in a strong position. But anyway, that is gonna round off the stream, guys. Quite an exciting race, quite a good race. Drama. And overall quite a good race, good finish, good drives from everyone across the field, good racing, and yeah, make sure to tune in next week.